Hello out there, David here, and today I'm going to show you how you can try out, how you can play EEGer games before you've purchased them, before you've gotten a license. Now, this is very helpful because that means you can see what the games are like. You can try before you buy, so you can actually understand what they look like, what they sound like before you even purchase them. It's important to note that this doesn't mean you can do live neurofeedback with them. You are going to only be able to see them and play them in replay mode. So you're going to see what the display looks like with saved data. So that is either client data that you've saved yourself or the inbuilt data that automatically comes with EEGer. So let's jump right into it. The first thing that you need to do is you need to open up a web browser. And the site you need to go to is support.eeger.com. So you can see that up here, support.eeger.com. And you click on the first link here, click here for file downloads. And this button here, the first one here is EEGer 4.4. That's where you would go to find the latest version of EEGer, to get the update files, that sort of thing. We're not covering that in this video, but that's where you'd go for that. And then for games, you click here. And here you have the list of all the available games. Now, it's important to note that what I'm showing you does not work with EEGer games. This will only work with the games listed here. So you cannot do this try before you buy with EEGer games. So if perhaps there are multiple games that you're interested in. So what I would suggest then is that you download all of them and you install all of them before you open up EEGer, before you do that component of this instructional video. Today we're just going to focus on one. So let's say you see this game, Orb. You've been hearing about it, you go, ooh, Orb, what is that? I'm interested in that. I'm intrigued. Let's try it out. So you click on that, and then you save file, and then it starts downloading. But you know what? I'm going to cancel that download because here's one I prepared earlier. So once it's downloaded, you open up that file, you double click on it, you give it permission, and it asks, do you want to allow this app to make. So yes, it asks your permission. Do you want to allow this app to, et cetera, et cetera? You give it permission. Now, it looks like in Orb, there are different versions of it. You can get fire, ice, lightning, water, wind. I'm going to try out fire. So we go next, and then install. So it does its thing. It loads, it installs. You take this opportunity to find some gratitude for something in your life. Perhaps just gratitude for the fact that you can breathe, or the fact that you are here alive. You find gratitude for the fact that you connected to gratitude. Well, there we go, enough gratitude. We can go to finish. So now that game is loaded onto the computer, but the process isn't over yet. So if you wanted to do multiple games in one go, you'd do that for the other ones. But now we open up EEGer, and it gives me a warning about my taskbar. I've been a naughty boy and haven't set it to hide, but that's all right. We shall power on. And then it's now giving me, and it's letting me know that my amplifier isn't plugged in. And I'm guessing it's going to tell me again. Yep, great, that's fine. And so what we need to do is go to Tools, Game Initialization Tool. Every time you load a new game, you have to run the Game Initialization Tool. I'm going to click this, maximize so we can see the whole thing. So as you can see, Orb is now on my list of games. So every time, whether or not you have purchased a license for it, every time you want to load a new game, after you've done that first step, you need to run Game Initialization Tool. So you do this, you come here, and then you go Done, Save, Configuration, bottom right button. And then after that, we're going to get another window. And in this window, you have the opportunity to tailor your installed games. And I'm going to do this again. And I have another video on tailoring your installed games, on making your own versions of it, changing things up. So check out that video if you want to see how to do different things. You can even change the order of these games, and you can make different versions of it that do different things. As you can see, I've got a version of Formation that is my wedding pictures, things like that. For the Formation game, there's a specific video on how to use your own pictures, but I digress. From this page, from this window, you click on the bottom right, far right button, Save All Games. And there you have it. We have now installed Orb. We are now able to play Orb in replay sessions. So first thing you got to do, like you would normally, is you select the client. I like to use SMR EEG demo because it has some nice demonstration files that are pre-built into EEGer, so I double click on that. Normally what you do is you plan session as you want to see. So I'm just happy with whatever 5 trace setups in there, and then you click on replay a session. And with SMR EEG demo, I like to just go with normal EEG. So double click on that. And here you go. You have all the games that are available for you to use. The ones that are red are ones that you are not licensed to. At the moment, I don't have a dongle plugged in. So I'm not really licensed for anything, but it still shows not in red the inbuilt games, the games that come automatically with EEGer. So, but when you do have your dongle plugged in and your key file loaded, what you will see here are games. The ones in red are the ones that you don't have a license for. Also, quick note: many of the games, the newer games, like Orb, like DVD Game and Space Race and Lotus Pond, those games will not appear as an option if you don't have your second monitor set up in extended display mode. If that doesn't make sense to you, if you don't know what I'm talking about, check out my other video on this channel on setting up your second monitor in extended mode. So you can still load it, but it won't appear as an option here. And so you might say, why is it not here? It's because you don't have a second screen set up. So I have a second screen set up, and I'm going to double click on Orb. So here we are, the screen you all know and love. You're going to see the clinician screen here, but you won't see the client screen. And that's fine. You don't really need to see the client screen for what I'm demonstrating. And I'm going to do a bit of this. You can hear Orb, though, there, doing its thing, ready to go. What you want to do at this point is what you would normally do to run a neurofeedback session. Obviously, you're not going to check impedance, nobody's plugged in, but you still want to change the thresholds. So you would press F11 to adjust the thresholds, and then you would press F5 to start the session. And over here, I'm seeing the beautiful display of Orb. I hope you're all very jealous because I can see what's going on and you don't get to see it. And it looks pretty cool. But the main point is that this is how, right now, you would have a look at the client screen and you could say, well, if I made it much easier, so if I made this bigger and I made this smaller, what would happen? If I made it really hard, so if I made this bigger and I made this smaller, what would happen then? You know, you could do what you would normally do in a neurofeedback session. You would see how the client's visual would respond to that. And you can hear the sounds and all that jazz. That's really it. So you can have a look at the EEGer games that are available there on the website. You can download them and you can install them. Then you do the game initialization tool, and then you can see what they're like in replay mode. And then ones that you feel are good, that you like, you can go ahead and actually purchase a license for them. Others that you don't like, you can either just leave them there, let them sit there, or you can uninstall them. And you go about uninstalling games the same way you would uninstall any program. Through Windows, you find the uninstall tool and you search for that particular game. So that's it for today. I hope that you found this useful, and we will see you next time.